What's up, YouTube? For today's video, this is going to be your guide on how to use Tinkaton in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing some competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets as well. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me use, make sure you leave below in the comment section of the video. And if you've got any other movesets you'd like to add, maybe I didn't cover something, leave it below there as well. Without further ado, let's have a look at our little tiny pink friend with a big old hammer. So, firstly, we're going to be using a sword dance set. So this is probably one of the better sets that you can run with it. Now, I will say something looking at Tinkaton's stats. Its attack stat is kind of bad. Like, 75 base is terrible. Like, its special attack is almost as good, and that's trash too. So, that's one thing that really does hold this Pokemon back. So, what I'm going to be doing here is using the Sword Dance set. So Sword Dance is going to obviously be boosting its attack by 2 stages. I've given it Jolly Nature. So 94 speed is reasonable. So I've given that. So I need to be able to outspeed certain Pokemon. I don't want to get outspeed. So if I go Adamant here, that's, you know, I'm going to get outspeed in another speed bracket there. So you definitely need a Jolly. Now with this set, I've got Gigaton Hammer. Now with the Gigaton Hammer, you can't consecutively use it twice in a row, which is fine because you can always go between, like, oh, I'll just use Sword Dance here, then I'll use Gigaton Hammer. You've also got some other options here to use as Play Rough too for stab, and you've also got Terra Blast too, which I've put on this. So I've put Terra Ground because this tends to draw out Fire-type Pokemon, you know. If you don't run Terra Blast on there, like I put Ockerberry on there, you could probably put something different on there if you weren't running Terra Blast, but I feel this gives a reasonably, like, good coverage there. You can still hit Steel-type Pokemon. Another option you could put on there is Brick Break too. That's one you could definitely do, but I like Terra Blast because you can actually hit, you can hit those Fire-type Pokemon as well, which, you know, they're probably not going to expect a powerful Ground-type move. If you were to use that, you could get rid of Ockerberry, but if, say let's say you had Brick Break instead, you could keep Ockerberry or something like that too. But I quite like the Terra Blast one. I think that's pretty nice, you know, it's a good surprise too. I'd probably shift Ockerberry and give it something like, you could give it, we've got Life Orb, that's a good item on there. You've got other options like this. Say if you wanted to set up, you could probably give it even Lumberry is also handy as well, like Lumberry. You've got Citrus Berry as well. All those items can work. You could even give this Weakness Policy too. You honestly could, because this has got, like, pretty, like, alright special defense. 100 base, 105 base is special. That's going to be able to tank not a super duper powerful attack, but that will be able to tank a super effective attack, especially from a more, maybe a weakened Pokemon or a support style Pokemon. I feel like that does have a chance to actually live that for sure. And its defense isn't all that bad either, so I reckon you have a good chance of actually living that for sure. Not very well, but Weakness Policy could come into effect there and help you out of a definite tight spot for sure. But yeah, they're probably the items that I'd be running on this to start with. You could give it, I mean, Leftovers, you could give it as well. That's another item that could work. Speaking of items, and I'm looking at its abilities here. So it gets Mold Breaker, which is a great ability. So ignoring the other abilities of Pokemon, always nice. Getting around sturdy Pokemon, you know, getting around Disguise. Like Mimikyu can't hide behind its disguise, stuff like that. It's got Own Temper as well. So that one will not be confused and affected by Intimidate. So I'd probably run, like, for singles and doubles, I'd probably go on tempo in doubles, and I'd go Mold Breaker in singles. That's how I'd run the abilities on Tinkaton. Pickpocket is kind of a meme, so we might touch on Pickpocket with some of the meme sets towards the end of the video. But yeah, that's probably what you want to be running on there. Something like this. I feel like they're most of the moves you want to be using. Just so it can have a last little look here. If we say we weren't using Terra Blast, we'll bring up its physical move. It does get access to Fake Out, but apart from getting a little bit of damage there, I feel like it's not really worth it that much. It might just be good at finishing a Pokemon off, but I don't know, like, I feel like it doesn't really need that. It also gets Ice Hammer too, but, you know, this is more covered around speed, so we don't want to be dropping speed. It gets Knock Off too. Knock Off is always a handy move to have, you know, getting rid of an item. Nice high base power if they do have an item, but, yeah, there's some of your ideas there for the Sword Dance sweeping set. Now, I actually did a Sword Dance sweeping set with Tinkaton. If you want to watch this set in action, I did it on YouTube. Just type in Pip Knight Tinkaton sweep, search it up there, go give it a watch. You can actually see this in action. So let's have a look at the next set here. So I've given this a little bit of a different build here. We've got Assault Vest. So I feel like this could work in doubles as well as singles. So we'll start with singles here. So I've given this max health and max attack adamant nature. We've got Assault Vest as the item. So that's going to make it very, very tanky on the special side. Extremely tanky. So, you know, the opponent is going to really struggle to one-shot this with a special move. Now, I've given it Gigaton Hammer, of course. 160 base power is very, very high. So it does make... they definitely did this on purpose. It definitely does make up for a 75 base and attack, which is, you know, kind of bad. So... that's going to be hitting, you know, nice and hard. You've got Play Rough there as well. Always nice for a double stab there. I've got Ice Hammer too on there as well. I haven't run any speed on this one, so I don't really care about dropping my speed, you know. A bit of ice coverage there. Definitely can't go stray. And I've also got Stone Edge too. So Stone Edge is going to be good for, you know, fire types basically. You know, any fire. I've got Ice Hammer flying, but this is mainly on there for fire types. I even ran Stone Edge on my Sword Dance set too. So I got rid of Knockoff and gave it Stone Edge. So that was another option you can give it to. Yeah, if you want to be able to hit them pesky fire types. As for ability, I just went for Mold Break as well. You could definitely change it around to own tempo if you wanted to do that in doubles and stuff like that. As for that, I'd probably, for doubles, I'd probably scrap Ice Hammer. I'm thinking, I mean, Protector's always nice. It depends on sort of role you want to be doing it. It does get Helping Hand too. A lot of Pokemon get Helping Hand, which is good. And you've also got, actually, I'd probably go ahead and just give it Protect there. That's how I'd do that. And we'll shift the item for Assault Vest. And you could give this, oh, what would we give this? So if we're running Own Tempo, bit of bulk. So we could give it Citrus Berry. That would be a nice item there. Just a little bit of extra recovery, and maybe it'll, you know, help it allow it to live like another turn. I could go back with Occa Berry as well. You know, moves like Heat Wave and stuff. That will do a fair bit of damage there to Tinkaton, especially a physical fire type move too. You don't want to get hit by Flare Blitz or something. So I believe Occa Berry is a nice move there. You could have Air Balloon as well. That's another option, yeah, for sure. But if you are, I don't know, I don't know, I'd probably be going for Occa Berry, but the Air Balloon's also good as well, for that ground weakness. And if you got Ice Hammer, if you got Ice Hammer instead of Stone Edge, or you've got Ice Hammer on the set, you don't really have to worry about having Air Balloons so much, because you can deal with them ground type Pokemon, so you can shift it to like Occa then, you know. Because you're probably still going to get affected by a fire type. A lot of ground types are kind of slow too. So, then again, there's a few of them are quite fast. So, yeah, that's my Assault Vest set there, or just a variation on that set, some moves. Let's have a look at a doubles one here. Now, this could definitely work for singles too. I'll explain it for both. So, I noticed Tinkaton, let's just do it EVs here. So, we want this to be Brave Nature, right? So, we want to drop his speed, which is, you know, it's fairly slow, but it can still be outsped. So we're going to be giving it Room Service, where under the Trick Room there, you can actually get that drop in by one stage, which is very, very handy there. You could partner this with, like, Bronzong would be a good partner here. Any Psychic type Pokemon, like, you could get, like, Heat Proofs Bronzong, you know, that would be quite good. The only thing is that you do share the same weakness, so you might have to go, like, for example, let's bring some Trick Roomers up here. Just looking at something like, I did mention Bronzong before. Have we got any, like, actually a Levitate Bronzong would be alright. So I know it is weak. I realize that it is weak to fire, but Levitate wouldn't be bad, because you could sort of couple them together. Say that one is this one here is weak to ground. You could swap that in there, and you could get around that too. So set the Trick Room up and, you know, stuff like that. That could definitely work. Set the Trick Room up and then go into this, or have another Trick Room Pokemon. Let me do another suggestion here while we're on the topic of Trick Room, because I believe this could, you know, this could definitely work. It just depends on what Pokemon you use. All right, yeah. So we got Slowbro here. That wouldn't be bad, because you can, like, with Slowbro, Let me do this for a sec. So we've got Regenerate on there, and it's going to resist fire, which is good. And it's got a, it's got a very, very, very nice defensive stat. So you could have that as a dedicated Trick Roomer for the start of the team, and that would work pretty nicely, I reckon, to set Trick Room up. So, and then you could get your your doubles or singles one going there. And say if it is doubles, well, you could just protect first turn, and while the Trick Room is going, and then get the Tinkaton actually set up to start sweeping. I've given Ice Hammer, which of course is very nice for Trick Room, because that's going to drop its speed every time by 1. We've got Gigaton Hammer, but you can use that in conjunction with Protect, so you could basically use it every single turn. And I've got Rock Slide as well for fire types and for flinching, because you'll be going first. I think that'll work very, very nicely. It won't be hitting super duper hard, so you might want to have another Pokemon with Helping Hand next to it. Really supporting it and giving it the extra base power that it does need. A lot of Pokemon. Actually, I wonder if this gets Helping Hand. Like a lot of Pokemon. Yeah, look at this. Here. So we got like so we got this Slowking here. So many Pokemon will get Helping Hand now, which is great. So we got Helping Hand. You could just Helping Hand that, and you could do some really nice damage there, and really make the opponent's life a living hell with flinches and stuff like that. But yeah, that could definitely work. In singles, you could virtually do the same thing anyway. It's not too much different. You could just adjust the Mold Breaker and Otemma, or whatever you like, basically. I feel like Mold Breaker is still very handy if you're going for like a sweeping set, because you can be stopped by quite a few abilities and things like that. But yeah, that's more up to personal choice. Let's have a look at this here. We've got the next one. This is a screen set. So I thought it does have some potential at running a light screen and reflect set. So we got Light Clay as the item. Obviously, we got light screen and reflect. I haven't given it too many moves here, like attacking moves. I've just given it Gigaton Hammer to do something, And I've also given Encore too. So this more would be designed, obviously, to be setting it out at the start of the battle when the opponent is maybe setting up Stealth Rocks, Spikes, etc. This is probably more based for singles too. Entry hazards are quite slow in doubles, but yeah, you could do that for sure, and then you could simply Encore them into that, and get your screens up. Giga Hammer the Pokemon, Giga Hammer. That's actually pretty good. Gigaton Hammer them, or just Gigaton Hammer a Pokemon coming in, so you get your screens up there. As for the EV spread, I've given this, made this really bulky. Look, for example, you could even run a sweeping one. You could. Under the screens, it's going to be quite bulky, so you could go ahead and give it Adamant if you really wanted to. So, Gigaton Hammer would, do a decent amount of damage there, and Pokemon wouldn't be able to swap in as easy, and you could work with Encore, maybe just stopping any of those entry hazards and stuff like that. But yeah, quite a bulky Pokemon with those screens too, and Steel and Fairy is good typing. It's definitely that's one thing about this Pokemon which is good. It's only really weak to like fire and ground, but those moves are still fairly they're fairly common. So you have to you probably just have to watch out and have some, proper swap-ins on your team. Like a bulky water Pokemon would, like Slowbro would love that. It's not going to do much to it. It's got Regenerator. You could even set up yourself on it, so you could sort of work around that. That's always a good Pokemon. We're also up to the screen set. What else could you do on here? It also... Let me bring up its status move. So it also gets Stealth Rock itself, so you could even set Stealth Rock up instead. Like you could go... I'm just going to go for a Stealth Rock, and then I'm going to, Light Screen and Reflect and Gigaton Hammer. So you're going to do, like, everything, completely set up with this Tinkaton. And, by the time it's set all those up, then you're probably going to be pretty much toast. But that's all good. It did its job, right? So I can see that is definitely working. You'd probably want to, I don't know, if it was me, I'd probably adjust my EVs a lot more for that. I'd make it quite defensive without any attack, because you got to be able to leave like an attack at the start, and then if you predict your opponent right, say they're using special moves, well, let's say for example, a flamethrower is going to be coming my way. I'll quickly set up the light screen then, and then I'll go Stealth Rock, something along those lines with how I would run a screening Tinkaton. All right, next set here, we got some little bit more memes here. So I did notice that. Looking at its attack, right, which is base 75, its special attack actually isn't too far behind it, which is quite funny. So I'm going to be doing a special set here. So the item we got going here is going to be Big Root. Nothing better than a Big Root. And we've got Draining Kiss combination here. So Draining Kiss will be doing damage, and it'll be healing more with the Big Root. And we've also got Fake Tears too. So this is going to be your way to heal yourself up, right? And then you've got Steel Beam to do even more damage. But after, using Steel Beam once, you're going to be pretty dry on health. So you're going to want to get some back. So it's good to have Fake Tears there. Or you could go Fake Tears first, then Steel Beam, and then Draining Kiss. Or Fake Tears and Draining Kiss. So kind of a interesting little builder. So we've got Max Health and Max Special Attack, Modest Nature. It's not too bad. Trust me, I've seen much worse special attacks than that. And we've got Mold Breaker, because we don't have to worry about own tempo and things like that. It does have Pickpocket too. Matter of fact, we're going to make a Pickpocket set in this video live in a sec. So, yeah, that's how I go with this one. It isn't all that bad, It's going to be quite bulky. Steel Beam and Draining Kiss. That'd be, lots of fun. A little bit of a fun set there. I've given it Terra type Ground too. Ground is quite a good type for this Pokemon here. It's the Terra into. Nice surprise. I like the surprise of Terra the most instead of just going for the attacking move. Right, let's have a look at this set. This set is pure Assault. And, yeah, it really, really is. So this is the Pip Knight Classic, this one. So we've got Thunder Wave to paralyze him. We've got Sweet Kiss to give him a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? So we've got that Parafusion going. Now, we've got Wide Lens, so Thunder Wave is not going to miss, hopefully. And, yeah, we've got Sweet Kiss. We've got 99% chance there, so I've missed on 99% chance moving forward, but that's another story. And we've also got Sweet Kiss too. So we've got the Parafusion going, and then we've got Metal Claw. So we're doing as much damage or spamming Metal Claw because it's got so much PP, and we're going to boost our attack. While we're doing that, we can rest off any damage too, and maybe the opponent will get paralyzed and he'll hit themselves in confusion while we're in that 2 turns of sleep. So a little bit of fun set there. I've just made it really tanky like before, so it works pretty nicely. You're going to need to tank a lot of hits here, but a little bit of fun there. Let's have a look at this Pickpocket set. I want to do something with this. I don't even know if I can make this like, I don't know, Tinkaton. Almost did Tinker Tough. So with Pickpocket, you really have to have no item, and you have to be hit by a contacting move, right? So you'll steal that item. So it's sort of all based on what the, what the opponent would do. So you'd have to probably give it a consumable item or just no item at all. So if you want to try and make it work, you'd probably want Focus Sash. But, I mean, like, look at its stats, right? That would have to get hit by a pretty powerful fire type or ground type move to make it use... Does it have Flail? Damn, that would have been cool. Or Reversal? No. I'm just trying to think of something like cool you could make use of Focus Sash or being on 1 health here. So just going to quickly scroll through these moves here. I'm thinking right on the spot. No, there isn't too much you can actually do with it. It also depends on what item you get too. I'm sure that it'll get hit by a contacting move. That could definitely be a thing. Oh, I know. Like you could give it you've got Red Card as well, so Red Card would work there. That would be okay. You could consume your item or a berry as well. Like there's like different ways of doing Pickpocket. As to the moves, it sort of doesn't really matter. You could do it with a physical or a special set as long as you get the the Pickpocket to actually work. It's a very sort of unique ability. Yeah. So you could probably go with like I'll go with Focus Sash. But let me just have a look. Or Weakness Policy. That could work too. Like Weakness Policy or Focus Sash. That'd be pretty cool. I'm just trying to think of something really really on the spot here. So there's not really anything that would really help it out too much on 1 health. I was hoping for like a Flail or Reversal or something like that that's like very, very powerful on 1 health. But doesn't seem to learn anything for that, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the special side. No, oh yeah, we got Fairy Wind. For a thumping 40 base power, no additional effect. Woo! We've got some good stuff going right there. But yeah, you could go, I'd probably just suggest there, since you can't really use that, you'd go Weakness Policy. So you could just go, you'd have to probably go bulk. And I could go either go max health or max special attack. And then you could just like, you could steal the item. So it would be kind of cool, depending on what item you actually stole from the opponent. You might get something like, Life Orb or anything along those lines could work too. That could be, a little bit of fun there. You could give that a try. But yeah, most Pickpocket users work well with like, let me give a good example. Like, not that Pickpocket is the greatest ability, but speaking of Pickpocket, I have done a theme team purely based around that. I believe, and yeah, most like Weavile would be a good one, like Focus Sash, and then you could, you're going to get that Pickpocket item, and then, obviously start sweeping, so that could definitely work. So probably something like this, like a Sword Dance sweeping set, or set up on the opponent and then get, get a lucky item. It's based on luck, So it's not, you can't really guarantee much there. The only thing you could guarantee was like a move like Flail or something like that, or a move that would, you know, have some sort of effect like that. But anyway, people, I think that's pretty much a good coverage of Tinkaton. I'm just going to have a look over it one more time. Now, I do have some, I do have, tomorrow, I've got 3 more moveset guides coming from 3 brand new Pokemon, so got that to look forward to. Yeah, it doesn't really get much outside of that. I'm just having a look. So we got Covet as well. That's another one. So I'm just trying to think of some memes here. It's got Fling. Actually, no, that's... Okay, I got a good idea. Here we go. It's a Pipknight classic. So we got Fling and Iron Ball, Pickpocket. So with Pickpocket, you don't want to have an item, right? So we got to go fully powered up here. All right, we're juiced up on the physical side. So we've got Fling and Iron Ball. So we'll fling the item away, right? And then if we get hit by a contact move, which is a very, very good chance, you actually steal the item. So you could possibly, if it's a bad item, you can fling it away again. What other moves could go with this? Like, this would be a bit of fun. You've got Pounce. That's an interesting move. Skitter Smack, Thief. Yeah, you could even go Thief as well. Like, we got Fling and Thief. You could be stealing all them items and throwing them back right at the opponent, you know. And you could just give it like a coverage move there. And what else could you give it? Let me have a look at its special moves here. Oh, sorry, status moves. Yeah, and you could give it like, you give it Sword Dance. All right, here we go. We're going to call it the Thief Tinkaton. So we're going to fling items and thief them and then fling them back. You know, get the effects and fling them back and spam Gigaton Hammer and Sword Dance. There you go, people. A classic Pipknight set there. Hope you enjoyed the guide on Tinkaton. I've covered some competitive movesets. I've covered some interesting sort of offsets that might surprise the opponent. And I've covered some meme sets as well. Hope you enjoyed it, people. I'll be back tomorrow with 3 brand new moveset guides. If there is anything you want to add to this, please do in the comment section. Drop a like there if you want to support the series. If you enjoyed this video. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome to the channel. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Peace out.